Here's Aisha in Newham in London on Ed Miliband. Aisha, welcome to the show.
Good evening, George. I was just calling in to say that I actually think that Ed Miliband is a fantastic person to be leading Labour, simply because I think he's got an unpredictability about him, and that will prove that no one's going to control him, and he will be his own person. And I think he will stand up for himself, and he will stand up for the party and the people, and he will be accountable. He won't blame anybody else for anything, but he will empower people, and he will engage the entire party, which is what he's already doing, and I think that's fantastic.
What do you think of the Blairite counter strike? The correspondents I spoke to who were at Manchester at the conference said that whatever they were saying in public, in private, the Blairites were spitting nails against Ed Miliband. They don't seem able to forgive him for defeating the prince who's now gone over the water, Mr. David Miliband.
But to be honest, George, I was a major David Miliband supporter, and I mean, David was one I wanted to win. However, I think, as both Ed and David have said, the Brownite, Blairite era is over. The only risk that I will see is if Ed can't control certain people, i.e., people like Neil Kinnock. Those kind of people need to kind of keep quiet and let Ed do his thing. And I think the more, all these debriefings and nonsense is just ridiculous.
What's wrong with Neil Kinnock?
Well, what he said about us reclaiming the party again, what he allegedly heard from someone, that's just unnecessary. Point is, both these Milibands are great. Ed won it fair and square. Let him do his thing. Let's see what he's going to be like before kind of either treating him like a messiah or treating him like he's just not right. Let's just see what he's going to be like. He's not even done anything yet. He's done a couple of speeches. Fair enough, he's made some comments which not everyone's happy about. However, he's
like what, Aisha? What did you think of David's conclusion that the war in Iraq had been wrong and that Britain should never have done it?
Well, what do you mean by the speech? What Ed made?
Yes.
The way that David reacted to it. I think David was right to react like that to Harriet Harman, because if you've made a decision, stand by it. But don't keep going on and on about Iraq. We need to move forward. And what I would like...
Well, the Iraqis can't move forward, Aisha, because there's 1 million of them dead, 3 million of them in exile, and their country's in ruins.
I'm not disputing that. What I'm saying is, I think what Ed needs to do is he needs to put forward a viable plan to say this is how we need to go forward, not necessarily keep going back and saying it was the wrong war. But I think the message he needs to give, not only to us but to other people and also to Iraqis, is, okay, this was a mistake, I disagree with it, however, this is how we need to go forward with diplomacy.
Asha, if you don't draw the lessons of the past, then you may very well be induced to repeat them in another country, in another time. Well, I mean, you're keen to move on, and as a supporter...
No, I'm not saying move on. What I'm saying is, you can only say sorry so much. I'm sure that those people, I'm not speaking on behalf of people.
Unfortunately, he didn't say sorry. That's one of the things that's wrong with this speech. He didn't say sorry. He didn't say that they wouldn't do it again. Indeed, he supported explicitly the murderous war that's going on in Afghanistan, even though almost everyone in the country knows that that's a war that's absolutely doomed. He didn't say that he would never go to war with Iran. So he's not apologising and he's not learning the lessons. But at least he's saying it was wrong.
Yeah, but Ed is still at the start of the game, start of his leadership. You can't expect him to come up now immediately and start making all these decisions and making all these comments about things. So he's got to be careful about what he's saying.
Yeah, sure.
You can't just come out and just keep... the point is you can't just keep coming out and saying, okay, I'm not going to ever go to war again. I regret... he's already explained that he does actually regret what's gone on with Iraq, saying it wasn't the right war to go to. You don't have to say sorry, as in that particular word, to show that you're sorry for the decisions that were made.
But you don't sound as if you're sorry about it.
What, I'm not sorry about the Iraq... I didn't agree with the Iraq war. I didn't agree with the Afghanistan war.
Well,
but I'm not the leader.
How come you were a big supporter of David Miliband then, who was one of the leaders of both wars?
Because, to me, that's not just what defines David. It was various other things that I stood for, such as the community leadership that he was standing for. You can't just take one...
You value community leadership. As your name is Aisha, might I infer you're a Muslim?
I am.
So David Miliband had the blood of millions of Muslims on his hands.
No, he never. No, he never. He was not the Prime Minister. Don't blame this all on David. He was not the Prime Minister. He was not privy to all the information that was going on, okay? Do not put this down to David Miliband.
David Miliband was...
Rubbish. No, that's absolute rubbish. That is not... Don't blame David for what Tony Blair and what George Bush did.
But he's...
No, supporting it's nothing. No, hang on a minute.
Supporting it's nothing. All right,
no,
Aisha.
Aisha,
no, can I get a word in edgeways?
Go on, what you can say?
I want to say that David Miliband was a member of Tony Blair's cabinet. He supported the war from the beginning until this day. He does not believe it was wrong. He believes it was right. And you supported him because of his policy on communities. So you value his policy on...
No, he supported getting rid of Saddam Hussein.
He killed 1 million Iraqis.
Oh, and what about what Saddam Hussein did to all the innocent Kurdish people? Was that okay, was it?
Well, is it okay to kill 1 million people because...
No, criticising David Miliband, trying to make him a scapegoat.
Aisha, it wasn't Saddam Hussein he killed, it was 1 million Iraqis. 1 million Iraqi women, men, children, pensioners. And and by the way, Aisha, here's
Saddam killed his own people.
Never mind what Saddam did. We're discussing what David Miliband did.
You're an anti-Miliband person. You talk absolute nonsense.
No, what I want to talk to you about is why but you've hung up. What a pity. Aisha, écoutez-moi. Community policy cannot possibly trump the deaths of millions of people in the world at the hands of the Bush and Blair gang. And David Miliband was one of their deputies. David Miliband was in the posse.